Well, as many of you guys know, I bought this 8th gen Civic Si a few months back, actually back in March. And let me tell you, this car was an absolute blast. But as you can tell by the title of the video, that had to come to an end. I enjoyed this car a lot. The VTEC was absolutely amazing, coming from a 1.6 Miata to a 2-liter Civic Si with VTEC. It felt like a supercar to me. Today, I picked up a EK Sedan that is absolutely bone stock. Does need some work, but man, it came with a whole plethora of parts, and let me show you guys what I got. Just to clarify some of the reasoning, because I figure somebody's going to be curious. The reason I got rid of that car is because, one, it was nothing to do with the car really. It's just I couldn't afford the gas in it, and the payments on the loan I had to take out for it were a little too much for me, and I needed something that was like a real daily, because the SI was a little extra to have as a daily, considering I have the Miata and I'm still working on my RB20 swapped 240SX. If you guys want to check that out, I will leave a link in the description. I've been working on a big video for that. Hopefully it'll be running soon. I got all the parts set out right here, but I'll show you guys that here in a second. This is a 2000 Civic LX, which is just the sedan variation, and it's got the better front end, which is the 99 to 2000. So these are a little bit harder to come by if you're unfamiliar. I picked it up from a guy named Jay. He lived about an hour away from me. Dude was cool as hell, and if you're watching this, man, I do appreciate the car. I'm enjoying the hell out of it. This car has 191,000 miles. It is a 5-speed, and overall it has everything you can pretty much ask for. Now, I do have some pretty decent plans for this car because it is going to be a daily, so it's not going to be a crazy build, but it is a very plain looking car, and that's because it's bone stock, which is actually super rare to come by for this generation of the Civic. So I'm stoked to have a clean platform to begin with. It needs some wheels, it needs some coilovers, but first off, what we're going to start out with in terms of mods and things we're going to put on it is actually some of the parts that came with the car with the trade. If you couldn't tell what I was sitting on earlier, it came with a set of S2000 seats, which I've not ever actually seen in person, and personally I feel like it's a little extra for an EK sedan, but we're going to throw them in there anyways because it already has the EK rails on it. And of course, not to mention, it is a 90s Civic, so it is far from perfect. So there was a couple things that were messed up, like the dash bezel right here that goes around the radio. Thankfully, everything that's messed up on the car, it came with a replacement part. Brand new bezel, complete set of brake pads and rotors, and a drum set of brakes for the rear. And this is one of the coolest parts. It came with it, an EM1 SI gauge cluster, which looks really mint. And as you can tell, this front bumper is not the best. So it came with a whole new front bumper that was resprayed. The whole car has actually been resprayed, but the front bumper is not the greatest paint job. Also came with a JDM style grille, which I believe is just an eBay knockoff. I'm actually filming this after the fact. It came with some 50/50 taillights, a full set of fenders, and a Type R lip that is currently crinkled. But this is enough to really get started on this car and have a good time. And the absolute worst of the worst with this car is this headliner. It is atrocious. I thought I'd show you guys this. Definitely could have got away with not saying a word about that, but we're going to replace that in the upcoming video. I've already went through and knocked out some of the basic maintenance, such as spark plugs and an oil change, and I also changed one of the gaskets and went to the power steering line. So basic maintenance is done. All the boring stuff is really out of the way. So hopefully we can start putting some really dope ass parts on here and getting this build underway, because I don't think I can live with the way it is much longer. If you guys have any suggestions on parts or modifications I should do with this, I thought about doing like a Facebook Marketplace only kind of build, or just, you know, just stuff that people can actually relate to, because I know a lot of people have these EK Civics, the sedans, the coupes, the hatches, and there is a huge amount of aftermarket support. So if you guys have any suggestions, I would love to hear them down below. Although I'm gonna miss the Civic Si, I think I did need to do this. It was probably the best financial decision I made in a really long time, because I still have the Miata and the 240 I didn't work on, and those cars had to be put on hold because that thing was draining so much money. I'm not making YouTuber money yet, but if you guys like and subscribe, maybe we can get there. But I didn't trade straight out for the Civic for the Si. I did get cash on top, so it was a fair trade in my opinion. The Si was not far off from needing some serious work, so kind of dodged a bullet on that one. It's nothing crazy, probably needed a clutch and a motor mount, But that was enough that was going to set me back, and now we have a project that is going to be fun and easy to work on. Thought I'd also give a little update on the Miata. This thing has been sitting for probably a month now. If you're unaware, both my keys are broke, the trunk latches broke, and the battery's dead. So nothing's really wrong with the car, the battery's just dead. So got to go through and fix that. I know this was a short video, I just want to show you guys the car, but if you guys have any suggestions, like I said, leave them down below. And I will see you guys in the next one. Don't forget to like, subscribe, comment, whatever you want to do. Deuces.